A very good afternoon to Institute and students, faculty members, and external participants. Today, I, Pragati Chaudhary, on behalf of Geeta Ratan International Business School, welcome you all to the session organized by IIC Gibbs on entrepreneurship skills, attitude, and behavior development. Geeta Ratan International Business School was established in the year 2004. Gibbs is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for Technical Programs, and Bar Council of India for Law Programs. Gibbs is currently offering postgraduate programs which are MBA, MBA International Business, and undergraduate programs which are BBA LLB, BA LLB, and BBA. Gibbs has been graded A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council in second cycle. It is an ISO 9001-2015 certified institute. Gibbs has been rated A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee, a fee committee of Government of NCT of Delhi, and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and GGSIP University. Gibbs has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of GGSIP University consecutively from past 8 years. Also, Gibbs has been rated number 2 by Times B School Survey consecutively for last 3 years. During recent times, entrepreneurship has gained a lot of impetus from Government of India. Entrepreneurship has the potential for generating employment and creating innovative solutions to the market needs. The environment is replete with the challenges like newer technology, paradigm shift in mode of business operations, and demographic challenges. Innovative solutions are required to handle all these challenges. Students are required to critically analyze and provide innovative solutions. Entrepreneurship requires a particular skill set and a certain type of attitude. There is a saying that not all innovators are entrepreneurs, but all entrepreneurs are innovators. The webinar is focused on generating awareness amongst the students on the right behavior and attitude for entrepreneurs. Geeta Ratan International Business School has Institute Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cell under the guidance of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. This workshop is organized as the IIC 4.0 calendar activity. The objective of this webinar is to familiarize the students about the entrepreneurial attitude and to equip the knowledge on how to handle behavioral issues of entrepreneurship. Our honorable speaker for the day is Dr. Rajesh, Professor in charge of innovation and experienced professor with a demonstrated history of working in the higher education industry. Sir is skilled in lecturing in engineering education, knowledge of entrepreneurship development, startups and e-sales, knowledge of business incubation process and the role of universities in forming industrial and linkages. Dr. Rajesh have done Bachelor's of Engineering, Masters of Technology. Sir holds PhD focused in industrial engineering and operations management from PRMIT, VNIT, and RGPV. Sir is proficient with degree Polytechnical Engineering, Teaching and Administration, operational knowledge of principles and practices of modern engineering degree, diploma in colleges in accordance with DTE, AICTE procedures. He follows best practices and ethics followed in the technical institutions, knowledge of organizing conferences, symposiums, faculty development programs. Sir has also worked as certified career mentor guiding students of all age groups in selection of right futuristic career. We are honored to have amongst us such a talented personality and we are remarkable accolades. We welcome you, sir, and we are glad to have you with us. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a glorious and nice introduction. At the outset, I thank the organizer, the IIC cell, and the special thanks to Professor Dr. Sheetal ma'am for giving me this opportunity and present my thoughts to the students of Geetam School. So I am thankful for the opportunity. Let's uh, begin with the talk now. I hope the the rights are passed on to me so that I can go with my presentation. Is that?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So instead of then spending time in the further discussions and all, let me now start interaction with the student so that I can directly touch to the core of this topic. The topic for today's this discussion is entrepreneurship skills, attitude, and behavior. So let me tell you guys here, the days of entrepreneurship has changed a lot in the last 15 years, particularly talking about the kind of a environment which was previously available and the kind of struggle that previous generation entrepreneur used to take, that days are changed. And I am very much thankful to the government of India and the kind of opportunities and the support network which Ministry of Education and the through the IIC or Institution Innovation Council cell, that and the kind of activities they have started with for inculcating the entrepreneurial habits and the culture in the organizations and the particularly the institution, that is really amazing and that is really very impressive. So the outcome of that has already started coming, and you also, many of you might be also aware with, there is a global innovation index, and this global innovation index in 2014 15 we were among the around the world, we were having 81st rank in 14 15, and today in the period of around 6 years or 5 years, in 2021, last year, we could reach up to the rank of 46. So we have upgraded our position from 81st to 46, that is 31st positions. We have uh, we could reach up to, and that's the sign that in which direction we are moving. On the top of that, I would also like to share with you one more thing. In the same line that innovation index we have risen up from the level of 81 to 46. In the same way, the number of startups happening in our country are also soared like anything in the last decade. And in that way also we are competing. We are the third largest producer or creators of of startups. So these are all a very indicative and very good signs that the new generation has started something differently, and that's the reason that there are certainly the changes are happening in the changes are happening in the field of entrepreneurship or in the field of businesses in the field, and it is reflecting the results of that are reflecting in the economy. So this is just a beginning. So let me start with the presentation that I have prepared for you, and try to throw some light on that. What are the then? See, these are the opportunities which are made available by the supporting network as far as the country's policy makers are concerned. Okay, but now how far you are prepared and you are ready for this particular opportunity? Many of you do not, many of us or many of you do not have any idea about that, isn't it? So how far we are prepared? What can, it requires certain kind of a skill, certain kind of a attitude, and certain behavior also. So if a behavior that can be developed, but basically what required in that is a kind of a attitude, a kind of a mindset which we talk about. So that's very important. So I have prepared a few slides which will help you understand that what you should be, how you should be, and in the way that how you should be in a position to grab these opportunities and think in this some kind of a different direction, maybe not out of the box but even within the box also. but how the idea is unique and how that idea can be executed so that you can become a successful entrepreneur and help support the economy, help support the society. So that's how this presentation is made. I hope my slides are visible. Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The slides are visible.
Okay, slides are okay. Thank you. So particularly speaking about our country, there are tremendous opportunities in any sector you go. So all the sectors, there are tremendous opportunity, and that's the reason I called it the road less traveled. So there are tremendous and ample of opportunities available for all the young minds to work on their ideas so that they can do what they can, it will help them to reach their dreams. And to prove that, we have a history that entrepreneurship is in our DNA. Only thing is, what are the things that the we were lagging is a kind of environment which are required. Yes,
Professor
ma'am.
Rajesh, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is breaking a bit. If you want, you can switch off your video to save bandwidth so that your voice comes clear.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, is it fine now? Can you hear me
Yes.
properly? Yeah.
Yes,
So
clear.
the innovation and entrepreneurship is in our DNA actually, and the only thing was what was not happening was a supporting network, some lack of supporting network, and that's the reason now we are here, and this credit goes to IIC, credit goes to Ministry of Education. So there are and my young friends, if you see the future and the present situation, you know that the in future the jobs are going to only reduce in the large employers, and there will be two types of jobs only available. Majority of the jobs will be with the private sector, and that too in the form of a consultancy, not a full-time employment. And rest of the jobs will be the government jobs, the public sector jobs, wherein that is very the businesses which are very much required, that only will be the businesses or the processes or the government offices or the ministries which are very much required, that will be for the formal sector, and there will be a presence of a government. So in future there will be a big question that what I should do. Okay, what are the opportunities available to me? So the opportunities available to you will be what kind of a skills and what kind of a capabilities are developed. Okay, the another questions that which comes to your mind is a how much I should earn and how to earn. So it's also a dilemma, but that dilemma is related to a career that everyone who is getting into education in a particular stream or particular direction of education has certain kind of a dilemma or a confusions in mind. Okay, but that all sorts of confusion can be answered, and the based on that you get into a particular line or a direction of education. So education is related, it has become a commodity and it has become a costly affair. So before anyone spend on any amount or any expenses on the gaining education, one has to think about also what is the return of that investment, that on the spendings. Okay, so this is a very important insight that everyone should think of, and accordingly he has to plan his or her career. And entrepreneurship is also a kind of a option which this particular slide will help you understand. So you see the examples of Oyo, so the examples of Baiju, see the examples of Paytm, Ola. All these are the examples which are these entities which are formed by the very young entrepreneurs, and they are majority of them are the first generation entrepreneur. But see, my young friends, everyone cannot become such a popular personality in a very short possible time. It's not possible for everyone, but there are certainly some supportive things or certain kind of a characteristics, leadership styles, okay, and some kind of a risk taking ability, which is very required in as a person. Then only it is possible. So the present environment is very much conducive of thinking in the direction of entrepreneurship, which you can understand from this another slide, wherein how entrepreneurship and how entrepreneurs are related to us, and how important they are for every one of us. So you can see different types of products here, okay, and how that products are helping us in our day-to-day life, isn't it? So this is a kind of a change in design, that design the things right, which will be very user friendly. Okay, and the app based businesses, the app based technology businesses, app based hospitality businesses, app based food businesses, these are the examples of the new generation entrepreneurship and new generation enterprises. Okay, why do we society needs entrepreneurs? Some define their lives, particularly if you see these two gentlemen, Steve Jobs, this Elon Musk. See, these are the examples that they have, in what way they have developed their developed the country, developed the economy, and not only their nation, not only their country, they have a presence around the world. Okay, so and how they have impacted and how they have affected the lives of the individuals, lives of the citizens, and lives of the citizens and individuals of the country. Okay, and how comfortably they are living, and how technology, what kind of a technological advantages they are getting, and how they are living with the gadgets and all. So the credit goes to this kind of enterprise, unless and until there is a entrepreneurship and there is a new concepts, and there is no growth to the economy, and there is no prosperity to the nation. So these are the some of the renowned world examples for entrepreneurship, that why the world needs or the society need entrepreneurs. Okay, then these are some of the desi examples. These are the people that who have the JRD Bharat Ratna, the JRD Tata, then this Verghese Kurian, then this Narayan Murthy. These are the examples from our country that who have changed our life. But though they are the different kind of entrepreneurship, and they were from the different era, okay, but they made a beginning. They made a beginning, and that beginning has made that beginning has helped these young generation entrepreneurs to work for their this if you compare these two things, the era of the present era of entrepreneurship and the previous century era of entrepreneurship, there is a vast difference, my friends. But what is most important is, the most important is they had built their own capability and capacity, and they have thought differently, so that they could reach up to the expectations of the world. And that's the reason that they are become so renowned, and they are become so world renowned. Okay, so that's how it goes. Okay, now if you think about the present environment, the present environment has become very complex, that you also might be agree with, that why this environment is so complex and what are the reasons for that. So there are so many reasons for this complexity. Okay, the first is the first kind of a complexity that we are facing even now also. We are passing through the third COVID wave, which is one of the reason for this hookah. Okay, so hookah is nothing but the complexity. So there are these four words, or the four complexity, four phases, or four things which are making this business environment, the societal environment very complex. And because of this complexity, the expectations, the solutions, the problems of the society are increasing. Okay, and there are the because of which there is a broad scope of application of any concept, any design, any prototype, okay, any project or any service in this complex world. So there is a huge demand in our country, okay, and we can call it our country as a, there is a huge scope for in this for a entrepreneurial activities even in this small market, because if you go by the country's population and the demography of the country, even if someone of, if any one of you select a small idea and work on that small idea, and if that idea works properly and if it gets executed, and if you are able to cater the needs of the even the local people with the branded, with a brand, with the creation of a brand, you can make big difference in the economy, is it? So ma'am, can I have a small kind of interaction from the students uh, as far as the this thing the chat box is concerned? Can we have access to the students
So
that
chat box is enabled. They can write the chat section. I can unmute the students if they raise hands. We can do that.
okay, that we will start after 5-10 minutes then, okay, no problem. Okay, so this hookah is about complexity, the volatility or uncertainty. Volatility, every market is uncertain because of the prices and the price sensitive issues, volatility. Then there are the economic, the world conditions around the world are changing, and you don't know, never know what are the things that, so rate of change of the technology, rate of change of thought process, and rate of change of everywhere there is a the changes are happening so fast. So that's about volatility. Uncertainty is it is about unclear about the present. So you never know what is going to happen and where the things will go wrong and where the things will go right, okay, and how it will have a affect, how it is going to affect the business, okay. Then comes complexity. Complexity is because there are so many reasons and there are so many factors which are affecting the complexity. So in the process of a management of resources, particularly if you are a management students and you know the how you must have studied about the complex systems, and these complex systems, the number of resources, number of factors goes on increasing, the complexities goes on increasing, okay. And that's how the degrees of freedom is going to get increase, and that's the number of degrees of freedom, that is engineering concept, but still it is affecting the complexity of the problems, okay. And then comes the most important is ambiguity. So hookah is this new term wherein all the businesses are operating in, and that's the reason that every individual, like a student of engineering, student of management, student of any professional education, even pharma, even a dentist or a doctor, they have to think in a way that what are the possible options before them, before they make a correct, before they get into any business process, or even it is also applicable in case of a students who are making their choices of stream at the grade of 11th and 12th, okay. So that's applicable to everyone. So how to achieve the things in the career? So you have to have a proper career path. I hope now you are already a management students pursuing your BBA education or MBA education. That means you have already selected or made a choice of a particular education path, but it doesn't mean it is not going to stop you from pursuing a part of your interest and your passion, okay. Education is one thing, entrepreneurship something different. It is not necessary that the person who is a successful entrepreneur is formally qualified or not, though in the present era it has got somewhat importance, because majority of the fields which are open for the entrepreneurship that require certain kind of a knowledge, certain kind of a technology, if you are educated, that is going to make some difference in the way of doing a business. But if at all the person is not educated, formally educated, that it means that doesn't limit him for creating his impact or making his business successful. So that's the very peculiarity or very true about the entrepreneurship. Okay, the education, you all know about what is education. There is formal education and informal education. Okay, you are presently in the formal education, and you have joined a degree program, and that is going to give you a developing a thought process. Okay, and you are going to learn something. So a lot of learning is happening. Okay, that's the education. Then after that education, once you complete with your education, you will be thinking about what kind of a job or a career. Okay, you are expected to do what kind of a role are you expected to perform in life. Okay, so that's about a career and a job. Okay, so whenever you think about a career, there are two directions to the career. One is a employee, and the other one, which is the most difficult direction, is a employer. To becoming employer is not that easy. So majority of us or majority of you will be following the path of a employee, because the education, because of your educational background or your thought process, or but few may think in the different direction, and that requires a lot of different things, that like a entrepreneurial mindset and the different characteristics. So that are the things that we are going to discuss today. So there are occupations, there are jobs, there are different profiles, okay, that are in the career. Even you are an entrepreneur managing your business, what are the different job profiles available? Majority of the many of the activities the entrepreneur initially, when he, in his initial or beginning days of the enterprise formation and develop and grow in the growth of the business process, he has to do a lot of other activities as well, which is not a part of his profile, but still he or she has to do it. So then which are the directions? So there are more than 50 fields which are available even after in any in the education direction. So all these 50 fields require certain kind of education. So which is the best direction that you should go for and it should work? So though you are a management student and you have already selected your line of education, okay, but it is not always necessary that you should work in the direction of education as far as your life or your career is concerned. So basically, that is there are few things that one must ask with themselves. So that is, don't choose because you have got a good marks in the particular subject. Instead, find what you really enjoy, that talks about your interest and that talks about your passion and your passion and your commitment. Okay, and not to work for someone else's dream. Okay, so there might be something the situation comes sometimes that there will be some family traditions and people will think about that what your father has done and what you are doing and all that. Okay, and keep away yourself from the fancy attractions like talk shows and web series. Okay, so these are the things that one must understand before making any decision about the career. Okay, now what entrepreneurship is all about? Entrepreneurship is all about creating value, contributing in the social and economic development of a country. First of all, any entrepreneur, maybe a micro entrepreneur, small entrepreneur, okay, a medium company entrepreneur or large scale entrepreneur, all the entrepreneurs are creating value to the any material, okay, by processing it, adding certain value to that, and then that product is made available in the market at some price. So it's contributing in the generation of income, employment, and it is contributing in the economic development process. So this must be a thought to any entrepreneur. Then taking calculated risks. So while dealing with this thing, there are numerous problems that the entrepreneur may have to face. So that may be a financial problem, that may be a psychological problem. that may be a marketing issue, that may be a product failure issue, or even the venture which was created, that can also get failed. There is a possibility. So all this requires a lot of calculated risk, and a person has to have that capability. Then only he can get a successful entrepreneur. And then listening to heart. So listening to heart is also important, because what this listening to heart is talked about is that I have already shown you the told you about the passion. So listening to heart is about passion, and then realizing your aspirations. So what dreams? What are the dreams set? So the entrepreneurship will this education will help you to reach to that the what goal you have decided. So it requires a zeal, a need, a passion, some kind of a talent, then some principles. Okay, and then know yourself clearly before you take to any career choice. Okay, so particularly in case of entrepreneurship, if you are so tempted, so inclined, so interested, and so passionate and committed, that will take you to the direction of entrepreneurship. Okay, so what are the things that the potential entrepreneur should have to have? Okay, first of all, he should have to have these two things: skills and knowledge. Knowledge can be, see, skills and knowledge, both these things can be acquired. These are all acquired things, skill as well as knowledge. Okay, opportunities are available. Now he has to make a match of every potential entrepreneur or entrepreneur has to make a match of what he is, what skills he has, what knowledge he has, and what are the opportunities available. Okay, so then comes the question in your mind: yes, am I made for it? What is important for me? Am I thinking in the direction of an employee or a direction of an employer? Is it? So now, according to you, according to this entrepreneurship thought and the entrepreneurship philosophy, now at this point of time, I would like to interact with the students. So, am I made for it is a question, and if anybody has a desire to pursue his or her own dream into a field of entrepreneurship, then is it that thing that what are the things that which are required for the success of the business? Can anyone just help me out here by you can unmute yourself and ask me so that we can have some kind of interaction here. Yes, are you with me? I hope it's not
Yes.
it's not a kind of a monologue happening. There are students with me, and they must be thinking in the direction that what I am taking them with. So is there anyone who can answer me this question? Am I made for it? What is important for me? Is it the brilliant idea important? It's a good execution important? Is market demand important? Or is a capital to start important for entering into entrepreneurship or thinking about entrepreneurship?
So initially, it is the brilliant idea which is important, unless until your brain works in a direction where you have a brilliant idea to start with, then other three will not make any sense. But yes, to grow at a at a speed or like eventually land up to a success, then you need all three to support. Like there has to be a good execution. The market should demand for what you have produced for them, and you should have some amount of capital to start. So I believe in that way.
Right, very true, very true. But is it the idea is the necessary that it should be a brilliant idea? From the history of a startup, we can say that the people have brilliant idea and still they have got failed. See, being an idea is important. I agree with that. Okay, but there are examples that many of the startups get failed, even in spite of they are having a very brilliant and very good idea. Can anyone tell me that what are the possible reasons behind this? See, only having a brilliant idea is not important. See, what's important is, can anyone tell me? Yes, Pulkit. Yes, Pulkit, you can speak. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, please.
Yeah, sir. I think the major reason why businesses fail is, sir, execution and consistency.
Correct.
Because
Very true. Yes.
in the beginning of any business, sir, the first 2 to 3 years are very major, and usually most businesses take losses during that year. So it's the sustainability, sir, which makes the difference. A lot of businesses get shut within 2 to 3 years of opening because there are small businessmen who cannot who cannot afford that losses. That is
Correct.
why they do not sustain that much.
Yes.
And that is why, sir, big companies, even when the losses hits in the market or due to COVID, sir, many industries fall down, but only the industries which were at a higher rate, like, sir, Oyo, or, sir, like Adani Group, or, sir, any food industry, sir, even after taking those losses, sir, they are doing pretty well nowadays because, sir, they have the power to sustain their business.
Yes. So what I meant to say, they have developed their capability and capacity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's the reason, and they could execute on their idea properly. See, the brilliant idea is, I can mention an example here of Swiggy and Zomato. You know, Swiggy and Zomato both are into a similar business process. Okay, but both are surviving. Okay, so it is not that you should have to have a very innovative idea all the time. Okay, what's most important is you should be in a position to tap the potential market which you are targeting. So that's a good execution. Then and the market demand. So good execution of the strategies in the business process. Every business process has a typical different requirement, and that must be taken care properly, so that it may lead to a proper functioning of a business process. And then market demand. See, market demand can be created. Market demand can be, though it is important, but it can be created. Okay, and obviously the fourth and the last one is a capital to start. Do you think out of this, which one is the important, very important criteria for success of the business? If suppose you have a brilliant idea, if there is no capital, will that idea work on?
No, sir, it
Hmm?
will not.
See, idea is very important, but at the same time, to work for that idea requires a kind of a zeal, a kind of a commitment, and a kind of a risk-taking ability. Maybe to some extent it is true that there is some capital requirements as well, but that's not a limitation. That's not a limitation. Who has told you that you should be spending all the capital or spending all the business expenses from your pocket? There are people around. If they like if they like your idea, they are definitely going to think about your venture and ready to for spending or investing into your venture. Okay, so all these things are important, but the first and most important thing is a idea which requires a proper execution of a plan, so that any general or local idea or can also become a successful. You see the example of a Byju's, and how what kind of a market he has tapped, and what kind of a concept he has initially. When he started in the classes, he used to teach the classes for hours together. Okay, and from that you could get onto the idea for the kind of a on the similar lines, and see what kind of a success he could achieve, and what kind of a business at what cost he has sold, at what price he has sold his business, isn't it? So these are the things that one must look into. Okay, am I made for it? Okay, so idea is just a multiplier of execution. Okay, then talking about am I made for it is already about some of the qualities. So there are n number of qualities which are very important from the point of view of a entrepreneur. Discipline, focus, confidence, open-minded, self-starter, competitive, creative, persistent. These are some of the, but there are three important things which are very required, very much required. The strong mindset about entrepreneurship, then risk-taking ability, risk-taking capacity, okay, and confidence. Not a overconfidence, but a confidence. So these are the things, and the leadership. If these things are there in any person, independently thinking, entrepreneurial characteristics, anyone can become entrepreneur. Okay, rest of the things and rest of the characteristics can be developed, and that will come with the passage of the time and the passage of the experience the person gains. Okay, so before you enter into a person enter into a particular field or think about that, one should give some thought to that, what I am, whether I have that zeal, whether I have that interest, whether I have that executive skills. Okay, do for which educational background is not that much required, but to some extent then it may make some kind of a difference in future. Okay, now we have talked about this thing that you are a student, you have a purpose of life, you have created your own identity, and at the same time you have your own aspirations from the what kind of education you have got. Okay, and this is a world of work, all these opportunities which are made available. There may be a field of work, there may be a type of work. Okay, there may be some mode of work that how you want to make money and how you want to live life. Okay, so these opportunities, and these are the kind this is you, that you have created your identity, you have your own dream, you have your own interest, and you are working for your passion, and you have created your own identity, and you want to fulfill your all aspirations. So you have to do your matching. Okay, so the perfect matching by deciding about the destination, that what you want to do in life, what you want to achieve in life. Okay, and whom you want to serve in life. Okay, and what is the purpose and objective of your existence in the planet. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Okay, then coming to the process of entrepreneurship. Now, process of entrepreneurship in the olden days, there were nothing kind of a support, and the people used to get into entrepreneurship, and but they had their idea, they had the capability, and they have their own way of thinking independently. Okay, the modern day entrepreneurship, particularly we are talking about the today's entrepreneurship is about, it's a nine step process, which is starting from the design thinking to ideation, then the validation, the proof of concept, the minimum viability of the product, and then the pitching, and then the startup, and then incubation, pre-incubation, incubation. Okay, and then there are making a product, and then designing the product, and then developing, and then solving the problem which the entrepreneur is working on. Okay, so this is a very elaborate process, and there are experts you will find for the purpose of inspiration, for the purpose of motivation. Okay, and for the purpose of certain kind of advices which are required at the different stages. Okay, so this is a modern day entrepreneurship. But in the previously, in the known history, suppose you go, you know what kind of a support network was available. Okay, what kind of a opportunities, but they had one thing in common. Whether he or she is a entrepreneur of a present era, or whether he or she is an entrepreneur of a previous generation or a previous era, they have one thing in common, and that is zeal for achievement, which is known as achievement motivation. So I hope you will be studying the theory of achievement motivation in the management subjects. in the maybe in your further study for further semesters, and that will help you understand what achievement motivation is. So unless and until a person has an intrinsic motivation, the external environment has some role, but it has limitations. You have to be motivated from internally. Inside internal motivation is very much required. So all that steps, processes, wherein you require a kind of expertise knowledge, that can be borrowed. That can be borrowed when the size of the activities goes on increasing, and when one person is not able to handle the different responsibilities. Okay, and not necessary always that key one person has to have expertise in all the fields, or all the fields of the all the things of the business process. No, no, it's not all. Only thing is understanding it and finding out the right solution at the right time. That's very, very important. That plays a big role in the success of the enterprise. Okay, so these are some of the examples, my friends, with me. Okay, Gunj is a NGO which is a Delhi-based NGO started in 1999. In that time, that owner or that entrepreneur was in his early 20s, and he has worked on the concept and the collection of the old cloths from, and use it for the, and distribute to the users who are in need of that. Okay, and you know what is the size of that NGO today, and what purpose, to whom is it is serving, and how great it is doing, and what kind of a social this thing it is kind of a um, obligations towards the society. It's helping in supporting or helping the societal needs. So that's one example. So it can be, entrepreneurship is not about only working on the technical or the technological products. It can be any general purpose business processes. Okay, even working on a concept of a social sector, and starting a small business process in that direction. That is also an entrepreneurship. What is most important is your motto, what you want to achieve in life, whom you want to serve. That's important. This is another small example of this one name, first name I do not remember here, but he is a student. He was in 10th standard in 2017, and who was looking for some kind of a delivery arrangement, delivery support network for sending his books to the friends something, and he could not find any ways. He is from Mumbai, and he had worked on a brilliant idea of connecting to the Mumbai Dabbawalas, and his uncle, who was working with the bank, has supported his idea, and now he is running his business in millions, and crores of 1670 crores of business process revenue he is generating from his business process. And that's how the young entrepreneurs works. Okay, so these are some of the two examples, that Yulu cycles that you must be very much familiar with, that being into Delhi. And what is the idea that for how that Amit Gupta has worked on this concept, and how it is helping the commuters, particularly those who are using the metro services, and how difficult it was for them to reach to their places of residence from the metro stations. So this was the idea, and how what kind of a response he has gained, and how that has created impact, and how conveniently and comfortably people at a very small cost, with small spending, the people are using these bicycles with pedal, and bicycles with electrical motor. Okay, so that is another example. The third example is the this Raj and Zui Jangam has created a parking lot in the Mumbai University campus. So for with the that they too also worked on the concept of a bicycle for the distance of 3 to 4 kilometers, wherein getting a rickshaw and auto rickshaw and traveling by auto rickshaw is expensive for as far as the students life is concerned. Okay, when you are student, so they could find of examples and small and they cycle chalao as a part of a social entrepreneurship project at the University of Mumbai in 2017, and that project is still on, and many of the students on campus are taking advantage of that. So this is a kind of a entrepreneurship examples. Was only 14 years old when his teacher died. He was 14-year-old, and that's because of the non-availability of the blood. And see, this idea has clicked into his mind that time, and he has started with this NGO Khun in 2016, and now it has made a great impact, particularly in the Karnataka region, southern region of the country. Okay, and at present, Khun has around 27,000 K and voluntary donors registered with him from India. So these are some of the examples that are all entrepreneurship examples. But what it requires if you want to at all become a entrepreneurs, okay, or a kind of a when getting into a venture creation. So friends, it requires a lot of a critical thinking and that action on the critical thinking. So the actions on the critical thinking, that these are the example: the allocation of resources, management information system, okay, the cost benefit analysis, opportunities, identification of the opportunities at the right time, okay, and then the market analysis, tapping the market, okay, working on the idea, and balancing the risk and balancing the benefits. So these are some of the very critical thinking actions and critical thinking skills which will help any individual or any person to reach to his desired destination, career destination. Okay, only thing it must be backed by a right kind of a mindset, and that is known as a entrepreneur mindset. Okay, so we have come to the last part of the discussion. Now I have few questions for you. Okay, there are few exercises, and I would like to know some small answers from you from that exercises. So are you ready, guys? This is the first question that I have for you. Can you read this question?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, please read and unmute and tell me the answer. I'll get back to you. What is the possible answer? One can tell me.
We can throw a ball high in the sky.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other answer?
The chat section is also having the answer, sir.
Yes.
Chat
Hello?
section is also having the answers.
Okay. Just me go to the chat box. Thank you, ma'am.
The students who, if you want to respond, please raise your hand and I'll give you the rights to speak.
Yes, sir. Can throw a ball in the air. That's the answer, right? Okay. In sky, nothing else can be done. Okay. Okay. Lovely answers, all of you. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes. So the answer is throw the ball straight up the air. Okay. Another question. Second question. Two students are sitting on opposite sides of the same desk. there is nothing in between them but the desk. Why can't they see each other? Answer to this second question. Chat
It
box,
could be that they are facing different directions also, like they are not facing the same direction or like not facing each other.
Okay. What else? I would like to see something from the chat box. Some more answers. So this is the answer for that. Okay. These two students have their backs to each other. Another third question. It's a kind of a puzzle, small puzzle. Respond in the chat box for the third question, third puzzle. Is it really difficult to answer? Yes. Good answer. Yes, close to the answer. Correct. Yes. So you can find out the answer here. The only three people went shopping: the grandmother, mother, and daughter. But remember that the mother was the grandmother of the daughter. Okay. So that means 3 generations. Okay. So these kind of critical thinking help understand the think in the kind of a critical direction. Okay. So it requires some critical thinking, critical skills. Okay. And the biggest or the most important characteristics which is required in the person is a risk-taking ability, critical thinking, okay, confidence, and an entrepreneurial mindset is and the leadership, so that a person can become an entrepreneur or at least think in the direction of entrepreneurship. Okay, so these are, and then the attitude matters actually. Now attitude is a altogether depending upon the it's about the perception of the people about you. Okay, so attitude also matters a lot. So if person has a positive attitude, they can definitely it will help the intrapersonal relationship with the peers, colleagues. Okay, and the kind of a environment which is required for getting the things done or getting the work done. So that way attitude plays a very important role, because one person is not able to do all the activities together on his own. So what's most important is कि उसको distribution of work करते आना चाहिए, delegation of work करते आना चाहिए. And when there is a question of a delegation of work and distribution of work, so people or the people around you whom you are working with, whom you are managing with, the work managing, so they must be able to obey your instructions, they must follow you. Okay, and that requires a lot of kind of influence generation, influencing them. So unless and until a person has influence, there is very difficult, the things are very difficult to follow. Okay, so that's the reason that this leadership characteristics is also an important characteristics, and then it decides the how the people think about you and the perception and all. And so the interpersonal relationship, the people management skills, okay, speaking skills, life skills, motivation, skills, inspiration, be the inspirations for the other. So skills, attitude, and behavior. So these are some of the then complementary things which is supporting the success of the business process and success of the entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's how this goes with. Okay, I would recommend you to that you should go for certain kind of books if you have any small thought about entrepreneurship. You must read some books like Lean Startup by Eric Rice, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, Losing My Virginity, that autobiography of Richard Branson. Okay, and the simple book to start with is a startup story. Okay, and Entrepreneur Journey by Shivadhar Soma. And before you start up, how to prepare to make your startup dream a reality. It is by Pankaj Goyal. So these are the 4 5 books that which will help you to understand the what this entrepreneurial activity is about. In addition to that, you can also visit the Startup India website in Startup India in startup. So that website will also have a important and the general information which is available, which will help you understand what this activity is about and what are the opportunities, how the kind of a support network the government has created. Okay, so in the end, I would like to quote here: the innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not a threat, by Steve Jobs. Okay, so this Steve Jobs has said long back. Okay, and that has what. And let me tell you one more thing. If you see and if you have something about knowledge about the Google, and which is the most popular word of the 21st century. So my dear students, young friends, innovation is the word which is the most popular word which was googled in the 21st century. Okay, and that's the reason that innovation, entrepreneurship, startups, and these are the activities which has become, so it has become a buzzword now, startups. But startups requires the critical thinking, design thinking, innovation, and ultimately the that innovation can be converted into a sellable product. Okay, and then it becomes it takes a shape of entrepreneurship. So with this small discussion, I hope I could throw some light on the abilities, the characteristics, the skills, and the kind of a mindset, and what is the kind of a support network which is made available, and what is the change, what are the changes in the present era with the previous generation entrepreneurship is concerned. I hope I could throw some light and enlighten you to think in the direction of entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion, this presentation. Thanks once again. You can reach out to me. This is my mobile cell phone number, and this is my email ID. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with your words of wisdom. You have thrown enough light on the fact that there are immense number of opportunities, and we being Indians carry a lot of entrepreneurship skills in our blood. All we need to do is build and develop our own capabilities and capacities. Thank you so much for sharing so much of knowledge with us. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. My pleasure. If there are any questions from the student side, Q&A, is it the practice, or are there any questions, or shall we wind up? That's fine.
We can wind up, sir, now. Thank you so much. Actually, there are no questions.
Okay.
And
Okay,
it was
that's
a
fine.
wonderful, it was a wonderful session, I think, and everybody has been able to understand every bit of it.
Yes,
So,
I thank you, ma'am.
no, sir,
Thank you.
very well informed and very nicely presented. So, thank you so much, sir, from my side also. Yes.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm leaving the meeting. Yes, I'll sign off. I'll sign off.
Right, sir. So, all the students kindly fill the feedback form, and you can also leave the meeting now. But upon filling the feedback form only, you will be provided with the e-certificate.